What do you think in the future will be the, I guess, most impactful? What's going to be the biggest impacts in the future of in the insurance industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mentioned in the beginning, right? I'm quite passionate about insurance. Like, insurance is an industry that is actually quite interesting. It touches so many levels and so many areas of life. So there are a lot of trends and a lot of innovations that I think will impact the insurance sector, both, let's say, technological and also non-technical or non-technological trends. Things like climate change, for example, has a huge impact on insurance. Demographical changes. I know that many societies get older and older. Trends like ESG, for example, and also maybe, smaller or more recent trends like the trend to work from home, after COVID, etc. So all of that in some way or another has an influence on insurance. But if we focus on technological trends, I will probably name 3 trends that I see. And of course, the first one will not be a big surprise, right? Is AI, artificial intelligence. You also mentioned it before. It's really crazy how quickly we humans, we get used to things. I still remember when ChatGPT came out in November 22. Everyone was so shocked. Everyone is excited about it. News were full about ChatGPT, and yeah, it was a huge step definitely for Gen AI. And now, less than 2 years later, everyone has basically just accepted it. They have been getting used to ChatGPT, but other tools as well, like GitHub Copilot, DALL-E, etc. So it's very easy to forget that AI and Gen AI tools that we have right now in 2024 are the worst that they will ever be. Like give this technology another 5 to 10 years and really no one knows what will be possible until then. So I definitely think that AI will continue to disrupt insurance, but quite frankly, probably every aspect of our life. So I mentioned already quite a few points now about AI and Gen AI. But let me maybe just go into a couple more in detail. So I think Gen AI will influence, especially also the way that insurance companies operate in some areas, right? So we talked about many use cases for AI also in general, but if we focus on Gen AI in particular, I think my prediction would be that it will have the biggest impact on the overall customer experience in insurance, by basically making the interaction points between a customer, a policyholder, and insurance companies easier, more accessible, more personalized also, especially in the digital space. So, we talked about chatbots before for customer support. Obviously, it doesn't stop there, right? So when Gen AI can essentially offer a cheap and easy way to make the experience of each customer more targeted to his or her individual circumstances, I think this will bring with itself probably one of the largest changes for the insurance industry as a whole. I think consumers will often maybe develop their expectations toward insurance from other industries. If more and more banks, for example, start offering real-time money transfers, which for sure also requires AI in the background, or if e-commerce platforms start using Gen AI, offering Gen AI-enabled customer support, etc., people will get used to that, and they will expect that also from their insurance provider. So I think this will definitely have a huge impact on the customer experience side of things. And then, as I mentioned before, I think another way will also be that those Gen AI tools or Gen AI models will be incorporated in more and more tools that employees in insurance companies use. So we talked about Microsoft Copilot and GitHub Copilot, but I think we will also see, in the specialized insurance software stack, we'll see Gen AI capabilities getting introduced into core insurance systems, claims management system, policy management system, etc. And obviously, this will overall just improve productivity, efficiency of insurance companies. So then maybe just very briefly, apart from AI, what are other technological trends that I see? I think a very important trend will probably be the Internet of Things, right? So this is something we have also heard a lot about in the last 10 years. It has been around for quite some time. Recently, I feel like the buzz has quieted down a little bit, but essentially, sensors become cheaper and cheaper. More and more devices nowadays have more sensors. We talked about telematics and home insurance already. If you compare, a car from 20 years ago with a car produced in 2024, the amount of sensors and therefore also the amount of data that those cars can capture and produce is insane to think about. So I think this trend will also continue to be of relevance, probably in the commercial insurance sector at first, but then also in the retail segment. And of course, here we also have a very interesting overlap, obviously, between AI and IoT. So the convergence of those technologies. Yeah, and then maybe there are other things like cybersecurity, cyber insurance, but one thing I want to mention is blockchain, because blockchain has also been quite a hype, quite a buzzword, also in the insurance space. And unlike maybe many of my colleagues, I'm personally not convinced that we will see many useful applications of blockchain in general, and obviously, or honestly, even less so in the insurance space. But there is actually one technology that uses blockchain that I think will have a huge impact also on insurance and other financial providers, and that is Bitcoin, right? So in the beginning of this year, we had approval of spot ETFs for Bitcoin in the US. BlackRock and other huge asset managers are now able to offer spot Bitcoin ETFs. So it becomes suddenly much easier for large asset managers, and insurance companies are among the largest asset managers in the world, to basically invest in this new asset class, right, which is Bitcoin. So I think this could be an interesting investment use case. So we didn't talk a lot about investment now in insurance, but I think there are also other aspects in this technology, which is Bitcoin, like Lightning Network, which could be interesting for things like micro insurance, for example, like inclusive insurance in developing countries, where you might not have access to a bank account, where you might not have access to traditional financial systems. So yeah, definitely quite interesting times ahead.
Yeah. All right. No, obviously, there's a lot you could discuss in the insurance world. There's a lot of technologies out there, even like quantum computing. There's so much out there that can make a massive impact. But no, it's good. It's good. I really enjoy your passion into the subject.
Yeah, definitely. Was great talking about it to you.
Brilliant. I really appreciate your time, and it's been great to have you on the show, and I hope listeners have really enjoyed it. And I guess, I'll see you all the best in your new role when you start.
Cool. Thanks a lot for having me, Ben. It was great talking to you, and all the best.
Cheers. Thanks, Gabriel.